One of the great things about my job is that I get to meet new people every day, and every day someone comes in that surprises you.
Hello.
Hello mate, you alright?
Yeah, not too bad.
You good?
Yourself?
Yeah, good mate.
Oh, thank you.
How you been?
Alright, alright.
Upright. Upright is good.
Upright, no.
Upright is good.
Like the nail polish.
Oh, thanks mate. I could tell you why I've got it on, but instead...
Leave it to the imagination.
I'm not going to. I'm actually, it was weird because when I had it on, it looked like someone else's hands, and I didn't realise how effeminate my hands are until I put nail varnish on.
Oh, they are, aren't they? Quite they really are.
Yeah. My wife said, I put it on and my wife said, well, that's annoying. And I said, what? Thinking, because I've stolen the nail varnish. And she goes, your hands are prettier than mine.
Oh, God, it feels better already.
Yeah. Better than when you had really long hair, mate.
Not spending as much on shampoo and stuff though now, and products.
I'm not surprised. Your hair was massive. How long was it since you had your hair cut before then? A couple of years?
It was, did we work out for about 3 years?
Was it 3?
Yeah, because I grew it over COVID, didn't I, properly? There was like for 2 solid years.
Do you know what I do in mine?
Well,
just wash it. That's it.
And just,
don't do anything.
Just leave it and it turns out like that?
Yeah. Well, I know, I run my hands through it. I don't brush it because it looks awful if I brush it. So I just run my hands through it, wash it, and then just, don't know, it just does this. Do you prefer having the short hair or the long hair?
I do miss it now. I felt like I wasn't myself with it though. With the beard as well, like I'd just lose myself, like because I was swallowing my face. It looked like I was just swallowing though. Yeah. The beard was getting bigger and the hair was getting bigger. And
I know what you mean by that. When I got to late 20s, and I remember looking in the mirror and going, I don't look like me.
Yeah.
And then now, kind of doing this job, you realise that people have this self-perception. And if you break that, like for a guy who's middle-aged that suddenly starts to lose his hair, and some guys don't care, but if you lose it and you've got a version of yourself in your head, and all of a sudden you don't look like yourself anymore. I think that's why this has led to this kind of rise in people getting transplants and all that kind of thing, is because they just don't look like themselves. But a lot of people say it.
Your look is amazing. Like, I do miss my waistcoats and...
Yeah, because you flirt with kind of...
Victorian and... Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how we met though, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's true.
Buying a waistcoat off some mysterious man and finding out that he's actually working at the university next to the shop and it's you. And then wasn't I wearing it when you came in?
Was it the yeah, you had the purple one on, I think.
Was it?
The purple one?
When we actually first met, I was actually wearing one of
your...
Yeah. So what's the latest costumes? What are we doing at the moment?
Oh, I did the Skeletor one, which was, supposed to wear, but didn't get a chance to wear him. But it's on display at work now.
Oh, okay, so it's done?
Yeah. And the boss has actually said that they want to display all of the costumes around the building.
Really?
Yeah.
So if I walk around Coventry University, then I'm basically going to have like a who's who of your stuff?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was quite a nice compliment, actually.
Really nice compliment. And is this something that, do you learn from other people, or is it just something you're, like you say, experimenting with? Or?
Oh, YouTube. So, yeah, just constantly. YouTube's my teacher. And if I have an idea, I'll see if someone else has already done it, because odds are they have.
It's amazing. I always really liked your creations page, because the one that I loved the most was a few years ago when you made like a flamethrower on your wrist.
Oh, and it shot out.
And it shot out.
And then exploded.
We were in the shop going, look at him, look how amazing he is, look what he's done.
I know, that wasn't very smart though in a one-bedroom flat. Lots of flammable things around.
We enjoyed it. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Have you got anything that you've made where, either costume or model, that you've gone, that's the best thing I ever did?
He is my Dr. Doom armour. I just look at him and I'm like, yeah, that is... There's a lot of effort gone into that, and time and thought, and the annoying thing is he'll be in the movies and it won't look anything like this Dr. Doom armour that I've got.
Oh yeah, because they've got...
Yeah. Which, hopefully Henry Cavill is the rumour.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That terribly ugly, unhandsome man.
I know.
Who's a little bit, I think he's quite modest though. He comes across, he's quite shy, I think.
Oh yeah, and he's geek as well, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I kind of get the feeling that, I saw an interview with him and I was like, oh gosh, he's he's a really handsome guy, but he's really modest. And that's annoying, isn't it? So what's the next outfit then? What are we thinking next?
Ooh, I really want to do my reading with Doctor Strange, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. And try and perfect the cloak.
How do you perfect the cloak?
Well, I just broke down the stitching and stuff, like looking at, the films and stills and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, because when I first made it, I was like, just winging it, whereas now I probably just...
Everybody's winging it, mate.
Yeah. God, it looks even wider now.
It won't in a minute. I always say to people, if you don't want to bother losing any weight, just come, we'll sort your beard out. You lose about a stone.
I think I might grow it out again, because I used to have it down to there.
Okay.
But now with the grey in it, I prefer it. It just adds a little something to it.
Yeah, it's a lot of people say they always worry about their, going grey and stuff, and I always think, well, I think it looks better. I think it worked for George Clooney. It's fine.
I clocked your shoes as I walked in, very nice.
Oh, so these are just brown shoes. I painted them.
Are those, I think you told me that before.
Yeah, I actually need to retouch them up because I've been scuffing them a lot.
That is genius.
I did it in lockdown. So they're just light brown shoes, and I was like, wow, they're really boring. Got some leather paint, stripped them off with nail varnish remover, and then actually I did a few pairs. I was again looked at a bit of YouTube, and I could do that, and then just kind of painted them up.
I'm sure I've got a pair of brown I could do something with.
You should try it.
Yeah,
you should definitely try it. But it's bad when you look in your wardrobe and you're the one under the bed with more shoes than the wife. And I've got 2 more wardrobes than my wife as well. It's really bad. So are you still making clothes as well?
Yeah, I'm still doing like the frock coats and stuff. It's finding the time now.
Yeah.
Like being full time, I didn't realise how it would affect sort of like my energy levels and finding the time to actually do the online stuff and...
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's your health now? Because that has an effect.
Yeah, I think it's starting to have a bit of a knock-on with that now as well, because my joints are starting to ache and I'm getting flare-ups of pain and inflammation. So yeah, and everyone's going, oh, what have you done to your leg? What have you done to your leg? And I'm like, oh, it's just...
Did it in kickboxing?
Yeah, that's what I should say. It's like, I suppose it's the arthritis.
Which is sort of half like, don't ask me again, by the way, if you do it, I'll be up.
Yeah.
You've done exactly what I'd have done. If I got a limp, cane.
Oh God, I mean...
Straight away, I'm like, cane it, make it a boss.
Yeah, I mean, collected them for years, so it's like finally get... Everyone's like, has that got a sword in it? And I was like, not this one.
How many you got?
There's like 10 at work that I've donated.
I was not expecting you to say 10. Just at work.
There's about 6 of like the really old ones at home, like the Blackthorn, and I've got a replica Victorian.
Have you got like some proper antique ones as well?
Yeah.
What's the oldest?
It's 1905, roughly. Because I think even that was a replica of a Victorian one.
Wow. I've got one. My uncle gave it to me on my 18th birthday, and he used to have an antique shop, which is probably half the problem with me now.
Influenced you?
Totally influenced me, because his house was like it. When he stopped doing it, he just moved everything into his house and just kept it all. And for my 18th birthday, he gave me a Victorian walking stick. I think it's got, whoever owned it originally, it's got their initial on the top in silver, and I think it's got a bit of tortoise shell, which obviously now you wouldn't have, but it's got a little bit just underneath it. But I've still got it, but it's really thin, so I don't think you'd walk with it. I think it's more for decoration.
Yeah,
it's like because it's quite thin.
Just parading with almost.
More parading, whipping the odd child. Get out of my way, boy. Well, it was Victorian times. Well, a guy left one in the shop. In fact, I've still got it, and it's got a duck head on it.
Oh, yeah.
So I had it for about 2 years, and then somebody said to me, oh, does it unscrew? I said, no, there's no sword in it. And they went, no, he used to have like a little bit of shot of whiskey in there, like a test tube.
Yeah.
And I went, no, and I unscrewed it and it had.
Oh, like it's a dram, isn't it?
Yeah, a little dram, yeah, it's got a little dram in it, and it actually has, yeah. I was just using it to get stuff, because I'm not that tall, to be able to turn stuff off. We used to have a heater above, and I used to be able to turn it off with the heater. So you're saying about arthritis. So I was reading something the other day about certain foods trigger it and stuff. Is that right?
Well, with me, it's all to the Crohn's because it's inflammation. Normally, it would affect the bowel, but Crohn's actually can inflame anything.
Okay. How long you had Crohn's?
Symptoms started when I was about 10.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then sort of hid a lot of the sort of like out of embarrassment, and I don't know what I was embarrassed for, like bleeding when I used to go to the toilet when I was about 14, 15. Like kept that hidden until the one day I had like a really bad experience on the toilet, and I remember going downstairs crying, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Well, I've been bleeding." They were like, "How long for?" And I said, like 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just got worse and worse and worse, and it was like, oh no, it's Crohn's, and it was,
Yeah. Wow.
It's a nightmare of a disease.
I mean, especially at like teen, because you are right. I mean, you do get embarrassed more when you're a teenager about stuff, and so yeah, I can imagine that is pretty harsh. So you say about Crohn, what actually is it? Because I don't really know what it is. How do you get it, or do you just always have it, or?
They still don't know if it's hereditary. It's just genetics. Anyone can get it, I think. It can like hit you at any age, but it's getting more and more easy to diagnose now with obviously blood tests and stuff. But now the treatments are like the infliximab, which is what I'm on now. They call it like the miracle drug for people with Crohn's disease. And like that was, I was supposed to be going through the trials initially, but my bowels were that rotten, literally, they'd rotted away. So I couldn't actually try the infusion because it relaxes the bowels.
Right.
And they said, what if we give you this treatment, the bit of scar tissue that was actually rotted away, that was due to the Crohn's, it would explode.
Jeez.
So they said we have to cut that out, and that was when the whole roller coaster of surgery started, which led to the bag.
But the thing with you is that you've been quite honest about it, and you've put it out there on social media, and you've kind of been like really upfront, and I think that people often find that quite helpful. If I've got anyone that comes in and they mention it, some people, they may never have mentioned it, and I always kind of you should check out Kieran's page.
Well, I've not always been that open with it though, because I used to go out of my way to hide it. Especially when I was in a relationship, which is really weird. I'd always wear like really tight vests to try and make it less obvious, and like with the bag filling up. And on holiday, I'd be like, "Is anyone coming?" Or don't want to take my top off. Don't take my top off.
Right.
And it was only when I was after the breakup, that was when I started looking at myself, and I was like, actually, no, I need to accept this, and I need to. Yeah. And now, it's I don't care. I just take my top off.
Yeah. I get contacted by like transgender people that say, "Oh, I've been to a barber shop. They said they were trans friendly, and they were laughed at me when I went in, and all that kind of horrible stuff." That when people are self-conscious about something, and they're like, I've heard that you guys are okay, and I'm going, if you've got hair, we'll cut it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I look like an old wizard, so I'm obviously going to be. Yeah, you do.
That's a compliment. That's not.
Well, exactly. That's what I think when people say it. Because I look the way I do and have a certain look, that when people say, well, I look like this, and people take the mick, and I go, yeah, that's fine, don't worry about it. Just accept it. And when you accept it, it's kind of like something opens up, I think. And I think it's actually in. People think it's out, I think it's in.
I think everyone's got their little, trials and stuff that you've got to.
Everyone's got scars.
Yes.
The more people you meet and the more you talk to people, the more you realise that, we've all been through adolescence. And we've all had something, you've all got something. Most people, kind of get on with it. Some people are very open about it, some people don't speak about it. But, working in this industry, you have a lot of people that have male suicide is a big thing. And so obviously not talking about it isn't that good. People suppress it, especially people my age. But I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's good to talk about these things. I think it's important.
Mental health as well, yeah.
The biggest thing you have to fight in your life is inside your own head. And no matter who you are, everybody has that. Yeah. Everybody has that, and that's why I try not to take the mickey out of anybody, apart from the guy in the mirror that looks back at me, because I'm all right with him. But I don't mean you, I mean me. No. I just suddenly realised I was looking at you in the mirror. Yeah, no, not you. So has it affected you in terms of like your mental health and stuff? And I mean, I guess that's had quite an effect.
Yeah, it was only accepting it and like facing it, you know, that's when I started to like think, oh God, actually I've got issues with my mental health and, you know, I have been making excuses and stuff that, it's still difficult to, because I always get tongue-tied when I talk about my mental health, and that's a result of, you know, the depression and facing things. And
it's come up quite a lot with guys. It's interesting when you talk to people and you just pick a little bit off the top, and actually there's always a little battle that someone's had, and it's always a mental health thing. Someone can be perfectly like healthy, successful and everything, and they still have that. It's such a common thing, and the more you talk to people, the more you realise we don't really talk about it.
No.
I mean, I'm all right because I've got a captive audience. You can't go until I've done, so I can ask about it. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's like the worst thing you can sort of say is, oh, well, look at what, you know, you've got this going for you, you've got that, and it's like, that doesn't help.
It doesn't help
anyone who's got depression.
It's lovely. Yeah. It's a lovely thing to say. It's really nice and positive, but you know, you could be the best looking, fittest person in the world with a load of money in the bank, but if you've got depression or something else.
Yeah, and your demons, and it's like.
Yeah, because the thing is, you don't want to get out of bed, let alone, you know, anything else. And I'm kind of empathising, although I don't really suffer with my mental health. But I know so many people that do, you know. And I had a guy, had a friend of my wife's, and he decided to take his own life. And I remember saying to another friend of mine, and I said, I don't understand why he did that. It doesn't make any sense. And it wasn't a particularly nice way to go. And he just said to me very quietly and very calmly, that was probably the happiest day of his life. And I remember it really hitting me like, whoa, because he knew that pain was going to be no longer there. And it was really like someone had just hit me in the chest. And it just like it screwed my head the other way around, going, no, you're thinking about it the wrong way. You're thinking about it from your point of view. And actually, it's that. And I remember just going like, whoa. And it stayed with me for days and well, it's still with me because I'm talking about it. But for days and days, I just thought about it and going, right, I've been thinking about this all wrong. And now it kind of made me slightly understand in a millionth of a bit. But realising that, oh, actually, okay, I don't totally understand because I've not walked in those shoes, but you've made my perspective from a normal person that doesn't, clearly normal person, obviously, that doesn't suffer with depression, to make me start to understand just a little bit of that world where they're living and the hell that they go through. And you suddenly go, oh, it just opened up a big door for me to make me think, right, now stop thinking about it from your own point of view and just allow that person to. Because
like, how sad is that's, you know, that was how happy, you know, and then you think, Jesus Christ, well,
it blew me away. And sometimes it's just important to listen and not say, oh, you've got everything going for you. Sometimes it's important not to give a solution, because guys always want to go, well, I can resolve this. We have a resolution, and it's like sometimes you go, now, do you know what? Just talk. So when's the Comic-Con?
I think it's the 28th.
So it's soon?
It's soon, yeah.
So when you go with a costume, your own creations, what do you literally just go there and enjoy the day with the costume, or what's the...
Well, the last one I went to was the one in Dublin, so I had to pack that like in a massive suitcase.
What did they say when you went through customs with that? Just sex play. Don't ask.
Yeah, but something for the weekend. Because I was staying about a mile away from the convention centre.
Amazing.
So I had to get dressed up in the hostel because I couldn't, after paying for the luggage, I couldn't afford a decent hotel. So, and then I just ended up, but I had to get changed in the hostel with about 6 different people just watching me going.
That's amazing.
That was an actually won as well.
That was what, sir?
I won.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So you accidentally won.
Yeah, it was quite funny though, because the guy dressed up as the Witcher in front of me, and he went, he basically said, to beat me, he went, oh, you better be able to fly in that. And I was like, okay.
Before
I went on, yeah.
Bit saucy, wasn't it?
I know. Then I turned all my lights on and
oh, I'd love to have been there for that. Really? Could you? Oh, that's amazing. So is it always like a kind of superhero related or?
Oh, for me, yeah. It's always magic as well. There's always.
What's the attraction?
I don't know. It's escape, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I
gotta
suppose
be.
so. That's a good thing though, isn't it?
Mm.
And has that been like always for you? Has that always been a thing since you were a kid or?
It has, but like, I think it's only like when you grow up and it's like you can actually start to afford to do stuff like that. And
I had a costume on for Halloween, and
is it Jack the Ripper?
well, I called it Jack the Snipper.
Jack the yeah.
But Josh, who works with me, said that sounds like a vasectomy doctor. And then I walked outside, so I'm dressed as I normally dress. I've got my frock coat on, got a velvet black frock coat, had a top hat, and I put some makeup on. And a lady said, great outfit, great Halloween outfit. And I went, cheers. And Josh went, isn't that your normal clothes? And I went, shh. Right, sir.
That is amazing.
That is you, I think, done. Feeling good, looking a bit better?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. Yeah.
Always. Great to see you.
And two.
Oh, before you go, I want to show you this. So this is the cane.
Is this the one with the...
This is the cane that somebody left and never came. It was actually in the brewery, it wasn't actually in here. They just said, oh, this looks like something you'd use. And I kept it for years. So it unscrews, has a little...
Oh, this is, yeah.
Yeah, so it smells of...
Right, so that is lovely. Oh,
Just use it to get cobwebs. Right. Great to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate, as always. And I'll catch you next time I see you.
Yep, won't leave it as long next time.
Yeah. Right, buddy. Great to see you, bud.
You too. Thank you.
You're very welcome, as always. Keep going. Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah.
Catch you later.
Yeah, take care, mate. See you soon.
Bye-bye. I was actually just wearing the armour on my own and just drinking wine.